Welcome to Looking Within, a podcast for the spiritual explorer in each of us. I'm Julie. I love to explore the inner life using contemplative practices, and I love to help others to do the same. In our time together, I hope you gain a sense of hope, meaning, joy, and love. As a Christian spiritual explorer, I hope to offer some thoughts to help you see God's presence in activity in ever-expanding ways. As you listen, ponder, and experience the divine, feel free to use the spiritual perspective you are most comfortable with in our practice today. Now, let's begin. It is the week of Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you will have or have had some wonderful moments of celebrating with family and friends this month. And I pray if this season has been difficult for you in some way, that your heart has been comforted and strengthened by the presence of Christ and by the care and companionship of others. The 4 weeks of Advent are now complete. The 4 words connected to the candles on the Advent wreath have guided us through this month as we've explored hope, joy, peace, and today, love. Christmas, the birth of the Christ child, and God's love as seen in Jesus remind me of a book I recently read by Henry Nouwen called Life of the Beloved, Spiritual Living in a Secular World. It had quite an impact on me, and I'm dwelling with it still. In my heart of hearts, I think at times I lose track of the fact that I truly am loved by God. I know that sounds funny coming from a lifelong Christian who has heard over many decades the truth of God's love for all of us. But I realize I have a fair amount of moments when I don't deeply know and live this out, and it gets me into all kinds of trouble. Sometimes I cling to things or people, looking in those places for love and self-worth, or I push and pull and resist life, not being willing to be content with living with what is in the present moment. Sometimes I go through the day not trusting that God securely and competently holds and cares about my life. Nouwen's main point that has been a wonderful reminder for me is that we are the beloved daughters and sons of God. Nouwen urges us to claim this deeply and to live our lives based on this knowledge. But like me, perhaps many of us fail to deeply and consistently claim this truth of who we really are, and instead, define our worth and identity through other means. Does it sound familiar if I say that we may self-identify by things like what we do and achieve, or what others say about us, or what we have or possess? I know I use these measurements at times to define who I am. Perhaps you do too. Nouwen, on the other hand, emphatically says this is not who we are. This fickle roller coaster way of defining ourselves leads to a lot of heartache and inner instability. Instead, like Jesus, who heard words of blessing and belovedness spoken over him at his baptism, we are the beloved of God. You are the beloved. I am the beloved, all equally beloved. For the divine is totally capable of loving all of us to this degree. Therefore, we can drop all of our comparing, competing, our jealousies, and our feelings of inferiority. Talk about love. This is it. Here's some thoughts from the Bible that beautifully describe this love of God for us. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have written your name on the palm of my hand for all time. I have molded you in the depths of the earth and knitted you together in your mother's womb. I love you. I embrace you. You are mine, and I am yours, and you belong to me. What powerful words. Know that all that you are and all that you do can be nurtured from the knowledge that you are the beloved. Let's think about this during our quiet moments together. In this quiet space and time, I'd invite you to gently close your eyes. I'll sound the Tibetan singing bowl, which will call you to look within. As you're listening to the bowl's reverberations, take 3 deep breaths. Then let your breathing return to normal whenever you'd like. Hear the sound of the bowl now. Let it center you. Let it remind you that God is here with you. One of my favorite poets, the late Irish priest and philosopher John O'Donohue, wrote this about love. We do not need to go out and find love. Rather, we need to be still and let love discover us. Isn't that beautiful? Let me read that again. We do not need to go out and find love. Rather, we need to be still and let love discover us. Have you ever sat in stillness and just listened? If you open your heart and imagination up a bit, if you let your listening be as much a full body experience as just using your ears and brain, there's almost a palpable feeling of life, of connection, of belonging, of love. Some say this feeling is most powerful when we quietly stand or sit outside in a natural setting. But I suspect that any place will do when we sit in stillness with open hearts and spirits. And I would say that's love that we're feeling. It's the divine, the ground of being, the animating energy that connects everything to everything else and to God. Sit in the stillness and let love discover you. Feel it in a whole body kind of way, perhaps as a warm light surrounding you. Be filled with this love, for you are the beloved daughter or son of God. I'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. I'd invite you now to take a few deep breaths, in and out, in and out. Let these breaths fill you with strength and energy. Hear me sound the Tibetan singing bowl, and as the sound of the bowl reverberates and slowly dies away, you can gently open your eyes, remaining still for a moment longer. Hear the words that Jesus heard, spoken at his baptism. You are my beloved child. On you my favor rests. Know how precious and unique you are, special in the eyes and heart of God. You are the beloved. I am the beloved. Anyone we encounter is the beloved of the divine. May you complete this Christmas season and soon step into the new year, deeply knowing and trusting in your immense value and belovedness. Let love discover and fill you, and experience the hope, joy, and peace of living in your true identity, a beloved daughter or son of God. Thank you for making time for your inner self today. Whatever you've discovered and experienced, carry that with you in the coming days. You can find more episodes at our website, Gloria-Day, that's DEI.com/lookingwithinpodcast, or subscribe through your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time.